Hello. Hello, Vivian Kaye.
Hello.
I feel like
How
I'm
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm nursing my baby.
This is MomFest. I
This is
mean, if you're not nursing, what are you doing?
You're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. You're doing nothing, Vivian. This is Vivian Kaye. For those of you do not know, you now know.
If you don't know, now you know.
Now you know. Welcome, Vivian Kaye. She is the CEO and founder of Kinky, a major company who specializes in hair for Black women. Beautiful weaves. She's a 7-figure businesswoman, lives in Ontario, close to Toronto. I'm not going to say what city for privacy. Don't go stalking her. We're not going to tell you, but I have her address.
It's so funny. People see me on the street and they're like, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to seem stalkerish, but yeah.
Well, she's a kick-ass mom boss in the most real sense. And welcome, Vivian. So Vivian.
Hey, girl.
Welcome to MomFest. Welcome to our community.
Oh, thank you for having me. Hey, moms.
Hey, mom. So we have a few hundred people who are watching us right now. And today you and I are just going to have a little bit of a fireside chat. So
yeah,
let's chat. A few questions. Vivian, I sent you a few questions and we can go on script or off script, but just tell us high level. Give us the 60-second elevator pitch, Vivian Kaye.
Okay, Vivian Kaye, the elevator pitch. So I am, again, the founder and CEO of Kinky. It's premium textured hair extensions for Black women. I am also a business empowerment coach, a Shopify expert. I am a mom, a single mom to a 6-year-old son, and also mother to 47 plants.
Yes, you are. That I know. I watch you every Sunday.
Yes, I do a plant care Sunday. So if you want, so that's dancing and singing and sometimes drinking, that's what I do with plants.
I love it. Yeah. So Vivian is a all-around mom boss. Vivian, I would just want to take everyone on a little bit of journey. Tell us. We're going to go through career, motherhood, and womanhood. Those are our 3 topics for this. So we have questions, but we might just riff. So tell us about how Kinky came to be. I love the story.
Well, it started when I actually founded it while I was running another business. Right. So my first business, I was a wedding decorator. And while I was running that business, I was serving, all cultures doing their weddings. And I needed hair that looked quote unquote presentable. What that means is that for Black women, and even for women, period, there's this, the standard of beauty that we're supposed to achieve. And for Black women, even more so. So what that meant is that we were told that our curly hair was unprofessional and we were to basically wear our hair straight. But a lot of us starting in, the 2000s started getting tired of that when YouTube really started to become a thing. And so then Black women tend to wear protective styles. So if you look at Beyonce, Oprah, Serena Williams, any Black woman you see in popular culture, she's probably wearing a protective style. So that's what I was looking to do for myself. Now, the reason why we wear protective styles isn't because we don't have hair. It's because our hair isn't suited to the North American environment. So it tends to get really dry. It gets brittle. It breaks. And even more so as a mom, right? Yeah. And so we tend to do things to protect our hair from falling apart. Yeah. So that happens to be braids and weaves and wigs. So I was searching for a solution for myself. So I didn't set out to start another business. I was searching for a solution for myself. I searched on the internet. I was in Facebook groups, getting to know the I guess you could say the community. And so then I found something that I liked and I went to a networking event. And another Black woman pulled me aside and was like, girl, like, who's your hairdresser? What did you do to get your hair to look like that? And I was like, girl, this is a weave. And she was like, I would buy that. And so then that's when the light bulb went off. And I thought, well, if she would buy it and I bought it, there's got to be at least a dozen other women who would buy it too.
Oh my God, Vivian, I feel that because I love that story. You are a dynamo businesswoman and you saw a niche in the marketplace and a gap.
Mhm.
and you filled it.
I filled it. It wasn't,
Yeah.
and the niche didn't niche. I don't know. The
Yeah.
niche did not
Right.
exist before I started it. So, in the down season of my wedding business, I launched Kinky Yaki because at the time there were no companies just selling kinky textures.
Right. Yeah, no, I love it. I actually took a deep dive into your website and looked at all the textures and looked at all the language. And I feel like, you know, I did a degree in women's studies, and I remember there was a few women back in the day when I was in university, and now my friends who are Black and have Black hair, it's a thing. Like white girls do not understand how much Black women have to tend to their hair, how many hours it takes, that it is a completely different texture that requires totally different set of products. TLC, it's not the same in it, and how it is a part of a dialogue, and not a jarring dialogue, but a dialogue. This is part of an identity that perhaps people don't know about. So can you riff on that for a few minutes, Vivian?
Yeah, well, even if you think about it, even in the States, they've just enacted like the Crown Act, where they made it illegal to discriminate against Black people and their hair. Because there are children who are being sent home from school because they have braids in their hair. There are women who are being discriminated against in the workplace because their hair is too, their hair is too curly and they want it to look more professional. Like even if you think about, even if with your friends with curly hair,
yeah,
think about all the work that they have to go through. So we have to do that times 10. And on top of that, deal with being Black and being a woman.
Yeah, amen. I just had a question from Alana in the audience. She goes, can you please just describe what is protective hairstyles?
Yeah, so a protective hairstyle is basically a weave braids, like adding hair extensions to your hair, a wig, clip-ins, anything that adds length or volume or protects your hair. So actually, you know what, even in like the Hasidic Jews, right?
Yeah.
They wear wigs, but not necessarily to protect their hair, but that's considered a protective style. Right. It's for different reasons, but yeah, it's just to protect our hair. So we call it a protective style.
Yeah, no, I love that, Vivian. So you're on this journey, you find this niche, you are filling a very important role with your product, and then you explode into this personality, this dynamo, this Instagram celebrity, this voice of Black women, this, I guess like friend of woke white women sort of dialogue,
friend of woke white women, yes.
And especially this year, just the conversation about race. And we were really going to talk, it wasn't really going to be on our agenda, but it can't not be on the agenda. Vivian, I need to know, like, take me back to April, May of this year, like Black Lives Matters blow up. You are crying on Instagram. You are not holding back. Your Instagram quadruples in like overnight. So take us back to that. Can you take us back in time to 6 months ago?
Well, honestly, it sounds sad, but the deaths of, Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd just sort of, I don't know, it didn't really, we're so used to seeing these types of things happening in the media that it just sort of rolled off my back. But what really hit me was the Amy Cooper incident.
Right.
So Amy Cooper is the woman in New York who threatened to call the police, or she called 911 on a Black man who asked her to leash her dog.
Right.
And what she was doing was she felt threatened. She felt like, you don't have any right as a Black person to tell me what to do. So she called the police in faux panic. Right. And doing that is basically, you might as well have put a gun to his head. Right. And this was a man that was gay, a bird watcher, a graduate from Harvard. Like, he is not that stereotypical, negative stereotype that you see of Black men. He was the exact opposite. Yeah. But she knew that she had that privilege that she could just whip out out of her purse when it was useful for her. So that for me scared me.
Yeah. And that footage was terrifying watching her do that.
It was terrifying because I have, because what it said to me was, because I have a black son.
Yeah.
So what that says is, it doesn't matter how much I tell him, how much, if I tell him to pull up his pants or speak properly, or all the things that we as Black people are taught to do. It doesn't matter if he does it or not. There's still going to be some person who will use their white privilege in order to make us uncomfortable, or to make us suffer because they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that really hurt, because it's like, what am I even doing? Why am I even bothering? And as a mother, that's terrifying to know that my son could be just taken away from me because somebody was inconvenienced.
Right. Yeah. And I think it was powerful. I think as in Canada, as moms, as women, when we see someone like you even get very vocal about something that resonates so hard, and watching the largest social media race campaign sort of take off around this matter, and people can continuing to talk about it, I think it's so relevant. And I thank you for being a voice there. I thank you for wearing your heart on your sleeve, and I thank you for being that level of emotion, because it was a big aha moment for a lot of people, that they didn't really realize what skin they were living in, right? They didn't really realize what shoes they were living in. And it was a new level of, I think, empathy or sensitivity that people just did not have. And you were, I would say, like a local hero when it comes to advocating and speaking your mind and being as truthful. If you want this spill tea and you want it to be the truth, you follow It's Vivian Kaye, because she will say it how it is, and I really appreciate that dose of honesty. No, I love it. I love it. So let's talk about motherhood a bit. How do you find the balance, Vivian? I am a businesswoman just like you. We have a lot of young aspiring businesswomen on here. How did you do it? How did you grow that 7-figure and grow your son and grow your plants? Like, how did you do it all? I need to know.
Well, the plants were in response to the Black Lives Matter, just because, like, it was just so stressful. And then on top of that quarantine, and on top of that homeschooling, I needed something to escape to in my house.
I understand.
But how do I do it, girl? I don't even know. I really don't. But I do know that, I'm not afraid of rolling up my sleeves. I'm not afraid of challenges. I'm not afraid to take risks. I really truly believe that I only have this one life to live, and I'm going to live it as much as I can.
I love that.
So, are there challenges? Absolutely. Is it hard? Absolutely.
You can say fucking.
Oh, good. Absolutely. Maybe I should switch out this tea for wine, but yeah, it's hard. And I'm not, as you said before, I don't sugarcoat. So there are days when I am high, and when I'm high, I'm high. Yeah. And there are days when I'm low. Oh, girl, watch out, I'm low.
Yeah, man.
But I allow myself to have those feelings because I'm human. And I think what a lot of people think is because you're a mother, you're not supposed to be fully human.
Yeah. Say that one again. Mikey, quote that one. Mikey,
quote that one, Mikey.
Yeah. As a mother, you're not supposed to be human. You're supposed to be superwoman. That's what you're supposed
exactly.
To be, right?
Exactly. But it's an amazing journey. I have no regrets. I've fucked up a lot. I've done a lot of good things, but I managed to keep a kid alive. So I think I'm doing pretty good.
You are doing good. And so one of our viewers is saying a few seconds ago that they're not a moo mom. They have a kid who's 29 and 27 and 24, but they really identify with you, Vivian, and what you're saying. So I think you're a voice of a lot of people, a lot of moms. I'm not sure you speak very publicly often with your quote unquote mom hat first. I think often you speak as an entrepreneur, as a Shopify expert, as a woman of color, but not necessarily a mom. Tell me about that in this audience. How does it feel to come to a place mom first?
Oh, it feels like I could take my bra off and everyone would be cool with that.
my tits were just totally exposed underneath it where it says my name. So I'm just letting you know that I'm holding my newborn child in one hand and my mic in the other. Literally, he's right here hiding.
Hi, baby. You full? Are you full?
You full?
He's like, I don't know what's happening.
He's like, I just had a cream bath.
He's drunk.
He's drunk. Just like his mom. Yeah, no, I'm curious to know about that for you. Yeah, taking your bra off. I love that. Mikey, that's a quotable quote. Mikey, where are you, man, with my ticker?
I Oh,
give me the taking your
Mikey,
bra
man.
off. Vivian, tell us about your coaching. What do you do in your coaching? What's that part of your business about?
Well, it's sort of like all my businesses, I just sort of start them without really thinking about what's, what I'm actually doing with them. I just start. If there's one thing I'm not afraid of is just starting. But what I saw when I was looking in the coaching space, where there was a lot of people teaching people how to do 1, 2, 3 and ABC. But then what I found, especially because I've been an entrepreneur for the past 15 years.
Yeah.
I've been in the e-commerce space for the past 8 years, and then on Shopify for the past 5. Yeah. But what I found was that I sometimes didn't have the confidence to make the decisions I needed to make in my business. So I call myself a business empowerment coach because I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to give you the guidance and the tools and the confidence to make decisions for yourself.
I love that. Yeah, I think the fact you were, first of all, early to e-commerce, and the fact that you are so well versed in the world of Shopify, like my hat's off to you, because all those memes going around saying like in 2015, you didn't know it was going to be COVID in 2020. Well, Vivian Kaye set up her whole business model to be totally successful. I feel like in 2020, because you are an e-commerce based platform. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. And your customer clientele base, it's mostly Canada, US?
It's a mix of both. And it's mostly it's all women. It's all women.
Right. Yeah. So that's so special. I think you've created a product and a community and a following, not only with your product, but I think the product helps perhaps with the coaching, and the coaching helps with the product, right? Because you're such a personality, you're such a dynamo. You obviously are a subject matter expert, and helping people get to that place where you say to them, like, you just said yourself, like, I started the company, I took the risk, I'm an entrepreneur, I know what I'm doing, I've done this for 15 years. I just dove into the company, and here we are.
Figure it out. To think about just like being a mom. You didn't know what the hell you were doing when you started, but with time, still, even after 6 years, and even you, I'm sure you can say, Alana, you still don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you do it anyways.
This event, Vivian, between you and me, if we're just two girls spilling the tea, and no one else watching, like the level of intricacy and the amount of people in the background to make an event of this nature happen is so complex. And I'm going to take a minute just to thank the people, who you are, Rosanna and Mikey, and a variety of other people behind the scenes who really
Mikey's gone. I don't know if we want to thank Mikey.
I was checking my phone because he's like, something's wrong, I can't use the ticker. Okay. So he's not getting any of our quotable quotes, unfortunately.
That's right. We'll quote them on Instagram.
We'll quote them on Instagram. Vivian, here's my question for you, and it might be a little bit contrived, but let's say you were talking to a new mom, first time mom, and they are in the thick of it, their hands are full. What would you tell, your son is 9, right? Your son is 9. 6. Excuse me. 6 years. 6 years ago, what would have you told Vivian 6 years ago about motherhood?
What would I have told Vivian 6 years ago about motherhood? That it's just like everything else. I know my son, I know my son the best. I know what's best for him. And I shouldn't. This is going to sound, some people might think that this will sound selfish, but I don't care. But I need it. Okay. Well, you need to put yourself first, Vivian. You are the most important thing there is in this life. Yeah, you have a baby that needs you and relies on you and all that, but he can't rely on you unless you're full for yourself.
Amen.
Right. And so one of the biggest mistakes I made was trying to put my son first. Mm-hmm. And it made me miserable because I was in a toxic relationship, and, it kept going for longer than it needed to because I was trying to keep my family together for, so people wouldn't judge me and, single mother. Oh yeah. Now, of course you're a single mother because you're Black and blah, blah, blah. I was trying to buck that stereotype. Mm-hmm. But well, fuck it. I was like, you got to go. And, I wish I'd known that, put myself first. Like I can't in order for my child to be happy, I have to be happy. And in order for me to be happy, I have to put myself first. Oh, Mikey, that's a good one.
Mikey. Chad, where are you, Mikey? Listen, I love that. I think what's beautiful about what's happening here today in you speaking and sort of bringing us home on day one of MomFest in this conference is that we're hoping MomFest does exactly what you just said. We want moms to sort of put themselves first, right? Put themselves at the center of the parenting conversation. The expression is, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you got nothing to give,
where do you think everyone's going to drink from?
That's right. That's right. Right. That's exactly it. So I think that's awesome, guys. If you are a young mom and you're hearing this for the first time and you hear nothing else from Vivian today, and this is sort of Vivian unplugged, is like, you got to put yourself, where is everyone going to drink from? That's the quotable quote.
That's the quote. That's the quote.
I love that. So that's what I was going to say. If you could talk to your younger self, what would you say? I love that. I'm sorry. What a clown. Okay.
This is the mommest thing ever. Like, you just roll with it. You gotta roll with it.
We have a question from the audience. It says, I usually announce to my kids when I'm taking my mom hat, when I'm talking with my mom hat, and what that all implies. Sometimes they take a breath and brace themselves for the ride, but also told them that if they want to know my woman or human option, being human's opinion. So that exactly, the mom hat has to go on, and then the human hat has to go on, right? They're two different identities that we're constantly ping-ponging back and forth. So
yeah.
Okay, Osan is asking, how do you handle conversations with your son about being Black?
Oh, Osan.
We'll just knock that one in at the end of the conversation.
Wow.
You have 5 minutes, Vivian. Tell us how we talk about race to our kids. Go.
I sort of take it as it comes. I let him, Disney Juniors he watches Disney Junior and they keep putting that Black Lives Matter. So of course he's asking me, Mommy, why do Black Lives Matter when we're brown? So I had to explain the whole thing as to why we're not Black and why they're, but I make him because he's only 6. So I try to let him see himself in as many things as possible. Like, Black Panther is a perfect example. So whenever he does a superhero pose, he does the Black Panther, or even when there was the Black Spider-Man, he was super proud to see himself as a Spider-Man. So I try to expose himself to as many, I don't want to say role models, but more like possibility models.
I love that.
Right. As possible, so that he grows up with this sense of confidence and sense of self, because society will try and tear him down. But I want there to be an inner resolve that can't be shook. So
yeah, I love that. And I think that's great. I think the way as you're saying, you talk to your son and you set up role models, and you say these are powerful, strong people that you can emulate, right? And they look like you, and that's important. So,
and even me, I'm a perfect example for him, right? So he can see not only was I his mother, but I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a human being, and I make it a point, Black mothers know, or even probably immigrant mothers know, they don't apologize, but I make it a point to apologize to my son, right? So to let him know that I'm human and I make mistakes and I'm willing to to correct them. So I'm just trying to grow him up to be the best human possible. And he happens to be Black. So, we'll cross that bridge when it really comes to it. But for now, I'm just going to make sure that he has that, when that first time someone calls him the N-word, he's going to have a response for it. And he's going to say, that's not me. And that's not my name. Right. Your mama.
Your mama. That's going to be my response. No, thank you. Your mama. Bye-bye.
Your mama.
Love that. Oh yeah. Okay, that's a quotable quote, Mikey. Your mama, big capital letters. Get that up there. Vivian, before we end today, I know you're coming back tomorrow. You're giving us a 2-parter. Tomorrow you're going to do a very special keynote presentation that your mama. Thank you. Put it back up. I want to take a photo of me and Vivian, and that just says your mama. That's hilarious. Hold on, Vivian. Smile. Hold on. I gotta do this.
Hold on. Where am I pointing? Here we go.
I love that. Your mama. Vivian, if there's one piece of motherhood or entrepreneurial advice you want people to leave with today, what would that be before we wrap up today at the end of the day?
I have 2. Sorry,
sure, let's
2. Okay, first one is you can't have it all. You can have it all, but you can't have it all at the same time.
I love that.
What's her name? Nora Roberts. She said you have to know which balls are glass and which ones are plastic.
Yeah.
So, and some balls are going to shatter and some balls are going to bounce. So you just have to keep track of what's glass and what's plastic, because everything won't matter at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Or you got to keep track of those glass balls, right?
Yeah.
And then just for on the womanhood / entrepreneurship tip, I love to say, what would Chad do?
Yeah.
Chad is the mediocre white guy doing all. Go ahead.
More about that tomorrow.
Oh, more about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chad's the mediocre white guy doing all the things because he has the audacity to. So all those times that you're, thinking you're underqualified or you don't have the qualifications when you have 4 out of the 5, just think of yourself as a mediocre white guy. What would a mediocre white guy do? He would totally go for it. So you have to think like Chad.
Oh my God. I really don't. When you say Chad, it makes me like, what would Chad do? I know it's your whole brand. And what would Chad do? What would Chad do? Honestly, like, just take the audacity. Say whatever, do whatever you want.
Listen, look who's the president of the United States. Look at the prime minister of Canada. Look at the premier of Ontario. Yeah. Those guys have no business being in the positions that they're in. But the reason why they're there, because they have the audacity.
All Chads. So, Mikey wrote, all Chads.
They're all Chads. All of them.
I love that. Vivian, you are a stellar. You're such a dynamite. You're so entertaining and you're so full of insight and knowledge. I'm so grateful you spent this end of our day together. We will see you back here tomorrow. Same time, same place, different topic, but we're going to talk a little bit more about what would Chad do. That's going to be a solo keynote just by Vivian. And it's sort of one of her signature cocktails, if you will.
Oh, I like that.
You're welcome. I got lots more where that came from, Vivian. If you follow me, then you'll see more of that.
Oh, okay, wait. I'm going to take a picture now too. Okay, ready? Okay, smile.
I'll just tag you on Instagram.
Oh, that would have been that will work too.
Guys, if you are not already following, it's Vivian Kaye. Go and give her a huge follow. You will see more of her goodness tomorrow. Vivian, I'm so grateful for your time and your energy today. And if somebody wants to, we'll throw up also the website for Kinky Curly Yaki if you haven't heard of it or if you're looking for hair.
Well, if you come to it's Vivian Kaye, you'll find it there too.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that. Vivian, thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You were absolutely welcome.
Happy MomFest, and you're probably getting something in the mail very soon.
Yes.
Just gonna say,
is it wine?
It might be a whole bunch of stuff, Vivian. Yes. You know how much I love to plow you with alcohol.
I love to be plowed with alcohol. Yeah.
I'll plow you any day, Vivian. Whenever you got there.
This is how we got to MomFest. This is the problem.
Plowing. Mike. He said, I don't know.
Oh boy. Okay,
I love it. Okay, well, Vivian, thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.